Okay, welcome back. We're back live here at Film Junkies. I'm joined by Dave of Dave and Connor and Cian of Jack and Cian. Guys, if you want to introduce yourselves again, go for it.
Hi, I'm David of David and Connor, and I'm happy to be here talking about movies.
We're actually you're a twin.
Yeah.
You're a twin, and there's another twin up in the up in the room above us as well. So there's three twins.
Yeah,
it's true.
Which is funny. I thought I'd never get away from twins
just
in my life.
Hide them here. Yeah.
Okay, so for this one, I thought, because COVID literally hit our industry ridiculously hard, I think flops and hits of 2019 would be a good one to brought up, I thought. And I said I'd start with flops. So these are the ones that essentially didn't make as much money as they could have based on the budget and I think the marketing perspective. And the first one I thought I'd talk about is probably X-Men Dark Phoenix. I don't know about you, but I've kind of found it hard to kind of push myself into X-Men in general.
Do you know what, actually? I've always loved the X-Men films. Since the first one, I don't know, was it 15 years ago?
I know you have,
sure. Yeah. I used to go to the cinema, see them all the time. I didn't even bother going to the cinema and see that one.
Yeah. I've never seen any of them in cinema, and I just would have heard of them. I kind of forced myself to watch some of them. Yeah. But this one had a budget of 200 million and only made 252. And I think if that's any other film,
52 million.
252 million.
Was that how much it made, or how much it cost?
Office.
Oh,
okay,
God.
yeah. So
but
that
it had
means
a budget of 200 million. It did make 50, but it was classed as a flop.
Even with that box office, that means it probably didn't even make a profit, because with the box office and the budget doesn't include the marketing, doesn't include all the TV ads and everything they spend.
I feel like these big companies don't really release the proper kind of.
But not only that,
absolutely.
You have to think
numbers.
about.
So whatever it is, it's probably twice that.
But I think that film went through so much reshoots as well. So that probably you're looking at least 400 million with the marketing.
They reshot it because I think
it was a mess.
They reshot it because it had the same ending to Captain Marvel.
Oh,
yeah,
they didn't want
something like that. Yeah,
Captain Marvel. It was supposed to be released before Captain Marvel, and then
they're both very similar.
Captain Marvel
they're both.
But how did it work? They were supposed to be before Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel came out before instead, and then they changed the ending because they literally looked apparently shot for shot like.
Yeah, because I think they were both set in the 90s, and they both had
kind of shot themselves in the foot though.
What were the villains in it? In Captain Marvel, the Skrulls, the kind of shape-shifting aliens. They kind of.
Apparently they were the same.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
I had no idea. Because see, I wouldn't be an X-Men fan, so I literally had no attention to it. I don't know. I find it very hard to watch.
I mean, when you compare that to Avengers Endgame, after I don't know how many movies, 19, 20, people were just so excited for how it concluded.
With Marvel, it was about 20 films,
But then with Dark Phoenix, just no one cared. Who was people were.
The timeline as well, I don't know. It seems screwed to me.
Yeah.
I never really got the hang of it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be much Marvel fan, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Sorry, X-Men.
I mean, X-Men's not Marvel.
No.
Okay, yes. But the thing about the Marvel films...
Well, it is, but it's different kind of...
it's confusing.
That's the thing about it. It just confuses everything, the whole thing.
Absolutely.
There's good actors in it, though. I like James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender.
And Michael Fassbender. I mean, I think, again, that'd be the constant. I haven't seen it, but I bet they would be good in it. Because even in the last one they were in...
I didn't even know Jennifer Lawrence was in as well till I see it.
That just goes to kind of show that you can't really... the studios, they always say, we're going to put in the big names, and then... Because they never know what's going to succeed, what's going to fail, and they think that going back to the... what's proven to be a success, in these with the big names, Jennifer Lawrence, Michael Fassbender. But even then, with all these big names, it still, for some reason, didn't work.
We'll be talking about that with Gemini Man, but I think kind of the age of the movie star is dead.
Well, I think that's the next one, Gemini Man. That I saw an hour of it. This one had a budget of 138 million and made 173, so there was a profit there. But I think a lot of that budget went into casting Will Smith, I think.
Oh, for sure. At least half of
the headlights recently as well. A lot.
Yeah.
I think you're right. That not many people go to the cinema to see one actor these days.
Not anymore. No.
I don't know. I don't remember walking into a cinema thinking I would just because an actor was in a film.
I mean, yeah, but it's always been
Chris Evans and Knives Out. Maybe that was one thing I wanted to see.
I don't find myself going to a film these days just because there's a certain actor in it. I have to go, okay, who's directing it? Who wrote it? What's the film about?
I don't know. It looked quite.
It definitely helps though. You're never going to go to see a film that you don't know anyone in it, unless it's a really big spectacle film, a very special story, and then you're like, oh, it's such a cool story. But if it's a regular story, you really need someone that people can put a face to, a name to the face.
Yeah, it looked like a regular story.
Yeah.
Well, I know they obviously had great CGI when they made it 20 years younger.
I'm surprised on that element it didn't do well because it looked really good in the trailers with how they de-aged him.
Yeah, apparently it was very
flawless.
The film was. I saw an hour of it. It was very kind of a 90s action film. It looked like kind of not actually saying The Matrix, but kind of it was very. It literally it looked like they were transforming to digital age for the first time.
Well, I actually think that script was written in the 90s, but it was on I think, the blacklist for about 20 years until finally.
Who? So what film company was?
I'm not too sure.
I don't think it was anything.
I know it was Ang Lee who directed it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it banged, especially because I think any film that Will Smith does usually does bang.
Yeah. I mean, you could even
Except for Suicide Squad.
I mean, yeah, you can even look at Robert Downey Jr. with The Judge.
I thought you were going to say Doolittle there.
Oh, well, no, we're not. No.
God.
I don't think anyone saw that.
Judge is one of my favorite films, though.
Yeah, but it didn't make any money.
But it is one of the kind of the art housey films where the studios, they do it to basically get an Oscar nom. That's what they want.
Yeah.
The Judge.
I mean, no, with these kind of
these ones.
the Judge,
Oh, yeah.
where it's like a slower kind of story.
The
but
Judge
like,
was literally just him filling time between Marvel films.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the Marvel actors. They kind of independent projects they do is very much within the 6 months that they get off.
Yeah, but I remember
Or is it
because
5 months.
people weren't too sure if he was going to come back because I think he had one movie left on his Marvel contract. And then
RDJ.
and he was going to go. He did The Judge.
He signed on after Civil War.
No, I think
before
he
it.
signed on after The Judge bombed. He suddenly was like, "Oh, I should go back and be Iron Man for like 5 more
Bond
movies."
didn't do well.
Didn't do well at all.
Because I got bombed, so
The
it
Judge.
was like exploded. What's that?
I didn't know that it did so poorly. Like you're talking, but like it did critically, it did okay.
I
It didn't.
enjoyed
I
it.
don't think it did great critically. I think it only got like 50 or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
50% or something.
And but
I haven't seen it, but
that's one, yeah. That wasn't 2019, obviously. That was,
Yeah.
but that was.
and then Doolittle as well kind of proves that
Doolittle.
point. I mean,
Doolittle is 2020, but
he is probably the biggest movie star on the planet, and when he's not attached to like a big franchise, people just don't turn up.
RDJ.
Yeah.
No,
I suppose with Doolittle, people saw the trailers and were like, that just looks terrible.
Yeah.
But
still. Yeah, but I'm a simp for RDJ. It's not Marvel, so yeah. That's the first time I've ever cried in the cinema before.
Yeah.
Endgame, when he died.
Yeah.
Swear to God. I was sat next
he
to you,
did.
so
Yeah, he
Spoilers.
did.
I don't know if you cried. I didn't look over you because I was too emotional. I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I was just kind of
But
shook.
so the next one is one that I think we can all agree. I don't know if you've seen Cats. This is one.
Who
that,
has seen Cats?
man, who
This is
wants
the worst
to?
one as
I
well. With a
still don't know.
budget 100 million. Guess how much it made?
Oh, I know.
125 million, maybe.
10.9.
No way.
Yeah,
Only
10.9.
10.9.
Yeah, and that was after reshoots, and they did the visual effects
Oh
over
my
again.
god.
And we were saying before that it's literally like they reached into every kind of, I don't know, even any area of kind of artists in the world. So they had like Judi Dench,
They had a great director.
they had Idris Elba,
Mm.
but then they had people like Taylor Swift and Jason Derulo acting in it.
Yeah.
And there's obviously that scene with Judi Dench you're saying where she has her hand like on her stomach,
Oh, yeah,
and it's not
there's-
CGI at all as a cat. It's like just a regular hand on
They
a
didn't
cat.
even finish it. I feel sorry for the special effects artists.
But like they released it in cinema, and then it got so bad after 2 weeks they took it back, re-edited it, visual effects wise, and then
I'm surprised they even re-released it after
they re-released it, and it did worse than it did when it
that.
first
Oh
came
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are they pumping so much money into it?
Yeah.
But like as an actor in that, would you not have to hide for like a year after doing that film because it did so bad? Especially if you like very kind of top end actors.
Well,
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that it probably didn't affect them at all, like one iota. But like with the animation company, I feel bad for them because they put in a lot of work, a lot of hours. They probably got paid shit, like really, really poorly.
Yeah.
Because they always one thing that people movies always cut on is the post production, and like you should like hear the stories. Like for instance, Life of Pi, the 3D post production company that made that, after winning 3 Oscars, three nominations, and winning an Oscar for best visual effects,
I remember. Yeah.
they went bankrupt a week later.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they relied on the cast to
Well,
sell tickets.
I think the main character in Cats was a complete unknown, so I feel really bad for her.
yeah, because it's very well known theater wise.
Yeah, like
It's
that.
one of the best
She
theatre
probably
plays.
thought this is my big break. I'm in a film with Judi Dench. You know,
Well, error
Idris
of
Elba and
judgment,
all
I
that,
say.
Yeah, so we'll see. But
But yeah, those are the main ones. Goldfinch was one that flopped.
what is Goldfinch?
What's the actor's name? He's the guy who was in that really famous film. Not really famous, but really well popular. The Fault in Our Stars, and he was in Baby Driver.
Oh yeah,
That's the
was he
actor.
the main guy in Baby?
He was the main one.
I really like Baby Driver.
Yeah, but this was just on the list because apparently it did bomb with budget of 50 million, made 9.
Jeez, I mean it bombed so bad. I literally never heard of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I remember
Never.
the trailers came out, and I remember it was all over Cork. I remember seeing posters and stuff, and it looked pretty good. But I know friends who went to see it, and they said it was awful. But these are just like these are the 4 main ones that flopped, budget wise and kind of review wise. I think, although Gemini Man wasn't awful review wise, I think it's just people were quite critical of Will Smith rather than the story. Apparently, it wasn't that good. The CGI wasn't.
I heard the dialogue and stuff was awful in it.
Yeah.
Like, it really felt like a 90s movie.
But those are the flops.
Mm.
The most successful ones. Then, one, I think, what confused me is that Endgame broke the box office record. It had a budget of 350 million, made 2.79 billion.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But Joker then came out to be the first comic book movie to break, I think, or 1.5 billion. But would you not class Endgame as a comic book movie?
Well, for sure, yeah.
I think I heard on the radio before that it was
Maybe-
the first comic book film to reach 1.5 billion.
Maybe non-superhero comic book film.
Probably.
Well, I think
But it's
Infinity
still a comic
Infinity War did 2 billion as well, I think.
Did it?
That was at the time the biggest comic book film of all time, and then its sequel topped that.
Well,
it was just
Infinity
because of the
War-
hype.
Infinity War must have done 2 because it did 2.79.
Yeah. How much did Joker make? It was like
It
one.
made,
It was
this is the thing
over a
about
billion.
Joker. It had 55 million budget and made 1.6 billion.
Wow.
Joaquin Phoenix, probably
Yeah.
the big.
Well, I think it was with the
His
Joker
performance.
anyway. Not only people love that character, but not only that, it just the conversation about that film, whether it was,
Oh, it was all after the film. After you've seen it, it was the
but
conversation
even,
after.
yeah, even before.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole like, is this film dangerous or whatever? It just conversation like that. It just makes people
think
want
the
to
whole
go out
film
and see
was-
it for themselves.
Yeah, it was designed like, I'd say, the film's about 2 hours long. I'd say for about an hour and a half I was just uncomfortable. But I think they wanted me to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just like his kind of personality, and even the scenes where he's like kind of like dancing around the place very like unnaturally. There's that scene in the
Well,
bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't think that was
No, but there,
scripted. I think he
yeah.
did that
But
off
I
the
think
cuff.
why it did well as well was the hype for his performance, because
He
naturally
lost a lot of weight for that film.
Oh yeah, he did for sure. But
He
like,
ate an apple a
yeah.
day for like 6 months.
yeah,
One the apple.
I know.
But yeah, you've seen Joker, yeah?
I have not.
You haven't?
No,
No.
There you go. It's all about the conversation after.
it's not great actually.
It's
That's-
like, but like
that's a
everybody,
discussion for another
we
time.
saw it in the gate. I remember me, Kyle, and Connor, and it was more everybody talking to each other after the film outside the gate than the actual or that to me was more interesting, talking to other people about the film than seeing the actual film. People's different
There was just something about that
Yes.
film. It really, because you don't see that much these days.
No.
Like whether it's a
You
franchise
can argue
film
that
or
that's-
not, where you have, it caused such a conversation and everyone has different opinions on it.
but you could argue that that's one film that people go to see because of an actor.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one
Yeah.
rare occasion you see.
Well,
story
yeah,
as
but
well.
even then, he's still playing, a character that's really popular or whatever.
Yeah, because up until that point, I
Because
thought
if he wasn't playing the Joker, if he was just playing some, like just an original
Yeah,
character,
yeah, okay,
then
okay.
there wouldn't be that interest. It's just the fact that he was playing the Joker that people were like, we need to see how he turns out, how he compares to
that's true.
Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger. So
Yeah, so there was that.
yeah.
Once in Hollywood was one that did well financially. I personally didn't think it was great because I was let down more than anything. I thought it was a lot.
See, no one. Yeah,
It was just, I think it was just famous actors and big directors glorifying the fact that they're successful.
it was indulgent as hell.
It
I thought,
had a
Absolutely,
budget
for
of
sure.
90 million and it made 370.
I think if
€3.70.
it's one of
that's all
those,
it made.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
370 million.
one
just
of
Except for the
those-
bus. Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those films I think where you kind of have to be a big movie fan to kind of appreciate
But
it.
we saw it in the cinema
Yeah.
and like 10 people walked out.
Yeah,
And I don't get
I
people.
remember
I
that.
never really see
I've
people
never-
walking.
yeah.
A lot of them were people that you'd assume to go see like Transformers.
No, yeah, it's not like they were like disgusted by the violence or anything. They just got bored and they just walked out.
No, I
Yeah.
think it was a lot of going somewhere,
Yeah,
but nowhere really I cared about.
That
Well,
sounds
John's-
like a lot of Tarantino films.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah, his
honest.
dialogue
But that
was his dialogue has been a lot better, I think.
yeah.
And it just kind of
yeah,
frustrated
again,
me that
I can't even, because with most Tarantino films, I can always think of like iconic lines of dialogue or
Yeah.
great moments. With that, I can't. Maybe apart from the ending, I can't even think of any lines from the film
Yeah,
at
I
all.
can't either. But like Brad
Me
Pitt got
neither.
best supporting actor.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it, have you?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
I thought you did
I
see
wouldn't
it.
even encourage you to
No.
watch it though. But like it's great.
I still enjoyed it, but it's certainly not up there with his best films.
I thought a lot of people were going at the way that they portrayed Bruce Lee in it too.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he gets
that did
beat up by
cause
Brad Pitt in the film.
yeah. His
and he
family
gets
was
portrayed
not
like
happy.
a real arrogant.
Yeah, he got portrayed like an asshole.
Arsehole, yeah.
yeah. There's conflicting, like, I saw conflicting reports whether he was actually like that or not. Because he was saying stuff like, oh, I could beat up Muhammad Ali, and
yeah,
stuff like that.
It basically was that, and then he did
Yeah.
it, and Bruce Lee looked like an absolute idiot. In
he
it.
kind of did, yeah.
So they weren't happy about that.
No.
But yeah, that banged apparently, and there was like they showed it at a film festival in France,
Oh,
and it got
Cannes.
like a 20. Sorry, but the Cannes,
Yeah.
but it got like a 20-minute round of applause.
Yeah.
Like that is the cringiest thing
Oh,
I saw the video, and they're just standing there waiting for the applause to stop, and they won't stop for 20 minutes.
Well, funnily enough, in Cannes, a lot of the
it's
time,
not worth the 20-minute
you'd
applause.
have you'd have one section of the audience booing the film, and the other would be applauding it. I think that happened with. It might have happened with Inglourious Bastards, because I think that won as well,
Really?
and Taxi Driver as well.
Yeah. See, that I just didn't really think it was as good as people made it out to be. But then the last one then is Lion King, with a budget 260.
I hated it.
John Favreau
Hated
directed
it.
it. That was the only thing I was excited about, and the only thing it really had going for it was the fact that it was live action. I think because you know what's going to happen, you know the story, you know the characters, you know everything about it. Made 1.6 billion, and that is just 1.6 billion nostalgic dollars.
That's the
People going
thing.
in
I mean,
and
I think
passing on the circle of life.
Disney
their
have
kids.
really tapped into that with just remaking their classic movies.
Yeah, sure,
and
Mulan is coming out.
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
They're just looking to.
They're literally just milking this cash cow
literally.
of creative ownership that they have of all these titles, and they just go back in the archives. It's like, oh, it's been 20 years, time to crank that one out again.
Yeah, they're waiting.
They just get the script and go.
But like,
They have a content calendar.
Seth Rogen was pretty good.
He's the only
like
Suited character.
Yeah.
Voice actor.
he's the only one that kind of stuck out to me. Going, yeah, he actually kind of did something original. The rest kind of just
Donald
even
Glover.
Donald Glover. I thought he just sounded bored on the mic.
I don't know.
He just sounded like he was trying not to fall asleep. Beyonce wasn't great. She was
But
good
yeah.
at the singing, but
Yeah, she played Nala or
Or
something.
even
I can't remember, to be honest.
yeah, but even James Earl Jones, you're like night and day with his two performances. Like if you compare him to the original, it just wasn't as good.
But that's 2019. I would have done 2020, but
Nothing.
I have one for 2020.
go for it.
So a really big hit, like kind of unexpected hit, because like March, all cinemas closed down basically.
I'm
So
joking.
cinema box office obviously, wiped out. But the one film that kind of like survived and like rose from the ashes was Trolls World Tour, Trolls 2. And here's how it happened. So basically, they had been. They were going to release in like February, but they pushed it back because of the James Bond film, which now has been pushed back all the way to November.
Yeah.
But at the time they pushed it back for that, and then it was going to be released on literally March 20th. And then so that means at that stage in the UK, in Ireland, all cinemas were closed. In the US, some cinemas were still open, but they were still like, damn, we can't do this because our two biggest markets are kind of down the tube. So they released it online on the same day. And for $20, that's how much it costs to rent it, just to see it one time online.
Who'd pay $20?
Parents with
Parents
kids.
at home with kids who can't go to the cinema.
So basically, Corona, like it caused a problem, no cinemas, but also it created this whole incentive for people to actually shell out this money. So it's like a kind of a once in a lifetime event.
Literally, yeah.
Like because a kids movie, so they're going to pay more anyways.
Yeah.
B, people stuck at home.
Yeah.
And C, they also cut out the middleman. It was literally on the DreamWorks website. So Universal
You have
basically
to sign
got
up to then
all the
do
money.
That crap, yeah. Because
So
Disney Plus got released a week
Yeah.
after lockdown came in.
That's the thing. I mean,
That was huge.
yeah.
And I remember downloading it, and I watched like 2 or 3 films I would have loved back in the day, back when I was a kid, like
Just haven't
the Fox and the
touched it
Hound kind of
since,
stuff.
Yeah.
But then after that, I just literally found myself scrolling through it.
But going back to Trolls 2 now, I mean, that just blows my mind that someone would pay €20 just to see.
Really?
It was the
If you're
fastest.
if you're a parent and you've kids at home and you can't bring them outside to go to the cinema, you can't really bring them outside at all at this
Yeah,
point.
but say
Also,
And you're trapped in the house with them a lot.
yeah, that's true.
But
But
also in America, they have really expensive cinema tickets. So at $20
Yeah.
is the price of maybe 2 tickets.
say if you had like 2 or 3 kids and their friends going to the cinema to see Trolls 2, you'd be spending easily north of 100, including food and everything.
In
America, yeah, probably.
Even here.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, Mahon Point, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
About €100 just to get in there.
Yeah.
But
€100 to leave.
yeah, no, I can definitely see why parents would. I think you'd only understand. Well, not that you only would understand if you're a parent, but I think if you're trapped in the house that
Yeah.
long with kids, you just want them to be quiet.
But
first.
why don't you just put on, because there's an endless array of stuff on Disney Plus and Netflix.
Nah, but see,
you're
it's
also
also a
new.
franchise. Trolls. It was like they wanted to see Trolls. Like
Yeah.
they saw the first one.
Yeah.
Like like Minions
remember
and
the
stuff like
first
that.
one,
Like
yeah.
they create these things and they have the merch. They have the spin-offs to
Yeah.
hook the kids into all the songs and shit.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo, Trolls.
Yeah.
He did that, didn't he?
Oh, didn't he?
Or was it Justin Timberlake?
No, you're right. My bad.
Yeah.
See,
No,
well,
Jason
he
Derulo
can
was
act though.
Cats.
He can do.
Yeah,
He's been in some good
yeah.
films like.
Like Cats.
But there was a big backlash from the from like obviously the cinema chains because they had a deal. Hey, we release in cinema. You wait 6 weeks, 9 weeks, then you can sell online. Whereas they went to release in cinema and release online the very same day.
Yeah.
So basically, AMC, all these big cinema chains, they came out like really really angry And at the time, it was like they were going to say stuff like they were never going to release a Universal picture again, and then they said we'll never release a Universal picture that releases online at the same day. So we're basically with the deal they already had, but they're saying no, this time we mean it.
Yeah.
But like
Basically
it would
lying.
change things. It would definitely
for sure. But
Yeah.
did that film make enough money to justify being that would be a viable option in the future?
Because I don't think it did that well, did it?
Trolls.
Did it?
It was the biggest. It was the fastest selling online VOD
Yeah.
ever. So it made its budget back and more, like
Really?
because after being VOD for the first while, then they put it onto Amazon, then they put
75
it onto
million.
everything else.
€20. It's like $20 on demand rentals. It made
Mm.
$75 million.
Yeah,
And how much did it cost to make?
95.
yeah.
Oh, sorry,
so,
wait, no, I'm the other way around. 75 million to make, 95
So
million
that's
to
the
make.
thing. I
so
mean-
they're probably going to make more though, because they're going to release in cinemas when cinemas
Yeah.
reopen. That's going to be one of the first films
Mm.
to be shown. So they're going to make the regular money too.
And if it's that good a film, kids will want to see it twice.
Exactly.
Our kids,
Maybe.
they see colours
It won't
and
make
stuff.
as much though, because by
Well,
then
they've already
a
made
lot of the
20
audience-
20
They've already
million.
covered it,
Or
so
20
they'll just be
I
adding
don't
and
know.
adding.
I don't think it's viable. I mean, I don't see how you can do both.
No,
'cause-
it is a one-off. Like it
Yeah.
is a very special
Well,
circumstances.
I mean-
Justin Timberlake, I did not know was in that, but
Mm. Like-
yeah,
a film like the new Bond film, you could not put that straight to VOD. You just
No.
would not make that
No,
much.
you just be pirated the
You-
first day.
Yeah, it would for sure.
so that's that. That's money.
Yeah.
That's films. I didn't know that bombed actually. Thank you for telling me
Yeah.
that. But the next thing I want to talk about was supporting roles in films, and I think I have obvious ones, but these are also
Mm.
ones I love.
Mm.
I told you about Joe Pesci, Goodfellas. For me, The Irishman was very nostalgic to watch because of
Mm.
this film, and I think
What
that
episode?
scene in the restaurant, the nice guy scene,
Yeah.
that was one of the best scenes I think I've ever seen.
Oh
in a
yeah.
film. And it's just, I think it's one of those scenes you watch where it's like a growing. You're smiling and getting happier, enjoying the scene more as it goes along. And I don't think it was scripted. I think it was all off the cuff stuff.
I think he
Oh,
came
cool.
up with that.
It was
on
the same
spot.
The Irishman.
Yeah.
They did a scene in The Irishman where De Niro
Mm.
put in like one line of dialogue that wasn't the script. It flips in
Yeah.
completely.
Very two different performances that he gives. Joe
Oh yeah,
Pesci,
definitely.
'cause-
But I'm saying in
yeah.
this Goodfellas one,
Yeah, because in
for me,
Goodfellas, yeah,
he didn't carry the film because it was a
Yeah.
good film, but he was
But
definitely.
he had like a
one-
quiet menace about him in The
Yeah,
Irishman.
he was character. You're
He didn't
waiting
even
for him to
raise
come
his
back on
voice
screen.
once.
He's a
Yeah.
brilliant supporting actor, just
Brilliant.
in general.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like in
Even in Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
That's
say.
what I
He
remember
kind of
from.
makes Home Alone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah.
speaking of like carrying the film, like that's literally.
He does carry Home Alone.
Oh,
I
he
think.
does.
I mean,
But-
together
but-
with his friend, whatever his name is.
In Goodfellas, in Goodfellas, he doesn't carry the film, but he's the character
Oh,
that you miss when he's not on screen.
I think I love Goodfellas, but he for sure carries it.
Yeah.
I mean, you really spoiler alert. You feel it when he dies at the start of the third act. You go, it's still a great film after that, but you really miss his presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Do you guys have any people you think of?
I went with obvious ones. I mean, he was the first one I thought of.
Yeah.
I often find that they're villains more often than not, like Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, Christoph Waltz
Josh
in
Brolin.
Inglorious Bastards.
Josh Brolin, even in you
In-
could say Deadpool and Avengers.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's
Definitely.
not a carrying character, but he's definitely.
Well, you can make the case in Avengers that he was the main character, but
Oh, but even in Deadpool,
yeah.
kind of, he wouldn't be a support. He wouldn't be carrying the film, but he's still a good supporting character.
Oh yeah, he was. He kind of made that film for sure. But
Yeah.
the other two that stuck out to me, they were all actually from Spielberg films. Funnily enough, was Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, because that film has great
Okay.
characters, but the minute he hits the screen, you go, "This is the guy."
It's true. It's hard to tell actually in Jurassic Park. Who's the protagonist? Like
Well,
there's
I
such an
suppose
ensemble.
It's Sam Neill, but he's the character for sure that people remembered.
I mean Jeff
I think.
Goldblum. Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
everyone else is
Oh,
like
yeah.
that other
That's
guy.
the thing. Yeah, exactly.
But like it's so hard. Yeah. I mean like they all have their own arcs like
Yeah.
throughout the entire film, and that's actually
Because
the
he
cool
doesn't
part
really
of it.
have an arc. Because he was right. Because his whole thing was he said
Yeah,
this
that's true.
park is going to fail.
And then, as well as that, in an Independence Day, that's his kind of his career
Yeah.
now is to be the guy who's right,
Yeah.
the guy that no one
but
listens
it's
to.
funny
he's
because
another obvious
yeah,
one.
because in the sequel to that, he was so popular in the first film, they actually made him the lead in the second film, and it didn't work as well.
I've never
That's
seen
the
it.
thing,
Have
no.
you?
Yeah,
Is it worth the watch?
it's okay, but it shows that he's one of those characters that works best as a supporting role. Not
I wouldn't watch the
necessarily
Chris
as a
Pratt
lead.
movies though,
Oh god, don't
The Wish Now?
especially Jurassic World.
No,
the second,
don't
the
even-
second,
don't
the one
even-
with Chris Pratt.
Don't
on it.
even.
I liked it.
I like the first one. The first one isn't awful.
Yeah,
Second
I like
one
the
is
first
tragic.
one. I mean, I did see it in cinema, so like that's a cinema experience, like this huge screen.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
I
a
It's
think
just
big
Chris Pratt
spectacle.
knowing everything and
it's-
know everybody else who works in the park apparently is dumb and doesn't know how dinosaurs work.
But
And it's like
But he's the only one that does, being that
Yeah.
he lives in a shack
Well,
way off site.
do you know what I think?
And he's the-
I think it's so similar to the first one. It's kind of like comparing the old Lion King with the new one. It's pretty much the same movie,
Yeah,
just
it
with the shittier gloss of paint.
That's fair.
I mean, I did like the sea creatures. That was cool. The sea dinosaurs.
I
Like they didn't have that in the
Oh.
first one.
Like at the end when it comes out of the sea and yeah.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I mean, it is more of a trailer moment than
But
anything.
I think because it was making this whole point about, bigger is always better. It was obviously trying to be a commentary on sequels, but it was kind of practicing what it was preaching against as well. I
Absolutely.
don't know. I just thought it was a bit.
But yeah,
Bit
that's
messy.
That's obvious one. I have
Yeah.
Octavia Spencer for The Help as well.
Yes,
That's one
she
I
was
enjoyed
good.
a lot.
Yeah, she was good.
They slammed our movie recently though.
I think they did. I think
She did herself, I
Yeah,
think.
Viola Davis, I think as well. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I watched that film again recently and it was one
Yeah,
that definitely got me.
the other one I had in mind actually was Sean Connery in Indiana Jones
Indiana
3.
Jones. I
Fantastic.
thought you were going to say Shia LaBeouf there. I heard Indiana Jones and I was like, oh god.
Funnily enough, I think he did kind of carry it in. I don't know if you saw it.
He was lined up to be the new Indiana Jones, wasn't he? The way they ended that film.
Yeah, oh
with
God.
him picking up the hat and stuff.
I'll put it this way: if he was in the next, I liked him in that movie.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want him to be in
No, I
the
wouldn't.
sequel. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
see.
Did you guys see Fury? It's like the World War II tank film.
I did see Fury.
I thought he was actually good in that. I think
yeah,
Oh, what? Brad
Shia
Pitt.
LaBeouf. Yeah, that's the one.
There's a big cast in that actually.
yeah,
there is.
There's
Yeah.
Michael Pena.
But in terms of big supporting, yeah, Shia LaBeouf really did kind of shine there.
What about
I'd
you?
say more so than Brad Pitt.
Mm.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Do you have any big supporting actors that come to mind?
Yeah, I mean we've talked about a good few of them.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, it's mainly a lot of times the villain.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's the antagonist who
Yeah.
you couldn't really call the main because they're only
Mm.
there for like 30%, 40%, but like it's really about them.
Mm.
Yeah, like I think the villains get a lot of screen time and they usually are supporting actors. Heath Ledger's an obvious one. I think
that's
he
a big
was
one.
he was the Joker for me until
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
I think Heath
I think
Ledger's
it,
still
I
the
wouldn't
Joker
still
for
I
me,
wouldn't look
but-
at the Joker from Joaquin Phoenix and think
Yeah.
that is, to me, Heath Ledger still was
Mm.
the best kind of. I think I warmed to him most.
Mm. It's just
Joker would just creep me out.
It's just weird watching that. It just adds a
Layer of creepiness to it, knowing that he died.
shortly after making the film.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Yeah,
I know.
because
That wasn't his last film.
It was. Oh, I think there was another film he made, but he didn't get.
If
to
it
finish
was,
it
it'd be some way to go.
Yeah,
How did he pass? Actually, I can't remember.
I think it was a drug overdose.
Was it
Yeah,
Hollywood?
yeah. But Quint, Robert Shaw in Jaws.
Oh,
The
the,
shark hunter. Yeah, he's great in that. Absolutely.
I watched Jaws and Sky Movies the other day.
Really.
Yeah, because we got it for during lockdown.
I think that was the film that got me into movies, Jaws. I remember
Really?
watching it when I was 8. Yeah,
I couldn't-
absolutely terrified. I was watching
That
it through
and
my fingers.
E.T. I couldn't watch as a kid.
Why?
It just creeped me out.
Creeped you out?
Jaws just a natural being scared of the sea and sharks being eaten.
But
Just
E.T.
as a kid, that would creep
yeah,
me out.
E.T. is like the big government. It's coming for you.
Yeah. And that fact that it would just
The
creep you out
aliens
anyway,
will.
the way he looks. But yeah.
Oh, you were scared of E.T.
Oh
himself.
yeah, the actual thing. Yeah, it creeped me out. It kept me up at night, like. It's not like sleeping with the light on at night kind of thing.
I didn't think it was creepy when I was a kid, but then when I watched it as an adult, I was like, actually, yeah, he's kind of creepy. I don't know why.
Yeah. But
Maybe it's because it's dated. I don't know.
That
But then there's times where you're like, that character should have been the lead. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the Godzilla film from a few years ago.
the
Bryan
one
Cranston
with,
was in it.
Bryan Cranston. Yes.
We saw that in the cinema.
Yeah. And
no,
I
I
remember,
mean spoilers.
that was
but
fifth year
spoilers.
school because
He-
we went up after our summer exams to watch
Yeah,
it. We were
but-
the only ones in the cinema.
yeah, they
How
set
do I
up,
remember that so well? I don't know.
they
But,
set
no.
up his character to be like this, the main guy.
it's a brilliant character.
And then they
Yeah.
kill him off
And then
after
they kill
10
him
minutes.
off in 20
yeah.
minutes.
He
and
was
then
in all
it's
the
his-
trailers too.
Yeah, and then
and
they have
then
his,
we're stuck.
with his G.I. Joe.
No, we
son.
watched. What's the guy who plays in Kick-Ass?
Yeah,
And
Aaron
he's
Taylor
the
Johnson.
silver,
He is awful in
the
it.
guy in
Awful,
Marvel.
yeah.
He just has a massive neck.
Yeah.
There were many scenes where he had to look really tough and he
Yeah.
put
Just like
his neck back.
Simplify, yeah.
It would
Just
come
the whole
out
time.
so far. He was built as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, and Elizabeth Olsen was in as well.
she was.
There was a very I don't know. It was good up until they killed off Bryan Cranston. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, then the kind of saving thing was in the third act when we have this kind of moment where we realize that the creature is
Mm.
caring as a parent as well. They have their own family, and
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they also have
I thought that
something
was-
to care about.
I know. I thought it was unintentionally funny because it kind of just came out of nowhere, and there. Oh, okay, this is kind of.
Well, that's. I think we've covered everything.
Pretty
we're
much,
past
yeah.
our half an hour, but yeah. That'll it, I'd say. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
No worries.
Thank you.
See you next time.